What if I told you the Russo Brothers are coming back to the MCU, not just for a pair of films, but to potentially reshape the entire future of Marvel Studios? X-Men, Avengers, and maybe even the next decade of storytelling could all fall under their direction. This isn't just a return, this could be the biggest power move in MCU history. Let's dive in. Well, we've got a pretty big report today about Marvel Studios and the Russo Brothers, and how the future of Marvel Studios could be aligning with some of their most successful creators. So, according to a fresh rumor that has set Marvel fandom ablaze, the Russo Brothers are not just making a quick pit stop into the MCU to pick up the next two Avengers films. Oh no, they've reportedly signed a deal to oversee Marvel Studios' X-Men Reboot and much more. This is not just a return. This is the dawn of a Russo-led renaissance at Marvel Studios. Let's take a minute to set the stage. Now, Marvel Studios has been on shaky ground post-Avengers Endgame. The film wasn't just a cultural phenomenon, it was a cinematic mic drop. But what do you do after the ultimate victory lap? Losing icons like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans alongside a revolving door of directors and writers created turbulence throughout the multiverse saga. Add to that the ambitious pivot to Disney Plus television shows, and you've got Kevin Feige juggling chainsaws while trying to ride a unicycle. Enter Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron's removal from the next Avengers movies, a move that many saw as a recalibration. It signaled a shift, a course correction. And at the helm of that shift, none other than Joe and Anthony Russo. The Russo brothers are officially back to direct Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, but it's not going to end there. Now this comes via Hollywood insider Daniel Rickman. And as we always like to say, well, if it's not from Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios, we're going to take it with a grain of salt. But Rickman's track record definitely speaks for itself. Now, if Rickman is to be believed, their influence is going to extend well beyond the multiverse saga. They've allegedly already signed a deal to oversee projects in the next era of the MCU, including the much-anticipated X-Men Reboot. Now, it's unclear at this point if the Russos are actually going to direct the first X-Men movie from Marvel Studios. But let's face it, if anybody understands the pressure of handling an ensemble cast with complex mythology, it's these guys. Their work on Captain America's Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame is practically a masterclass in juggling character arcs and delivering epic stakes. Now, rumors at this point suggest that Mr. Sinister could be the first big bad of the X-Men franchise. It's probably a smart move. After Fox heavily leaning into Magneto for years, Mr. Sinister really is the perfect way to shake things up. Plus, his role in X-Men 97 hints at Marvel's broader strategy to seamlessly blend nostalgia with innovation. But this keeps getting better. Now, the mutant saga might actually culminate in Avengers vs. X-Men. Imagine Earth's mightiest heroes squaring off against Marvel's premier mutant team in a massive cinematic showdown. This is a concept so tantalizing it practically writes itself. And this very well could be the Russo brothers' crowning jewel. It's definitely on the table. Now, it's at this point things could take an even bigger turn. If this deal is as expansive as the rumors suggest, the Russos might not just be directing a couple of films. They could be stepping into a larger role, overseeing vast portions of the MCU roadmap. With Kevin Feige spread thin across multiple projects, and Marvel Studios in need of strong creative direction, it would not be surprising if the Russos are being positioned as long-term architects of the franchise's future. Think of them as Marvel's answer to Star Wars' Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Trusted creatives who not only understand the universe, but know exactly how to reignite audience excitement. If they're involved shaping the next decade of storytelling, the MCU might have finally found its new guiding force. Now, let's backtrack for just a second and talk about Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, which does seem to support this narrative. Recent speculation points to those films bridging the gap between Earth 616, the world of the Avengers, and Earth 10005, which is Fox's X-Men universe. While this clash could be part of the multiverse saga, Marvel is more than likely going to save this Avengers vs. X-Men spectacle for later on. I mean, why rush it into production as the mutants are just being established? Kevin Feige himself dropped a fairly cryptic tease last November when he said, quote, "Right after Secret Wars, the whole story leads us into a new age of mutants and the X-Men." And this line alone makes it very clear the X-Men are not going to be a side story. They are at the core of the future of the MCU. Now, if this rumor holds to be true, it's not just a comeback for the Russo brothers, it's a chance to reinvigorate a franchise that's been searching for its next big hook. With Avengers Doomsday set to come our way in May of 2026, and Secret Wars in May of 2027, and the potential rebirth of the X-Men beyond that, Marvel Studios might very well be laying the groundwork for a new golden age. The question is, are you ready for it? So, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Russo brothers not only potentially leading the X-Men in the future of the MCU, but having wide creative influence across multiple franchises? Honestly, there's nobody who's better at it, and I would love to see the Russos be the go-to guys for Kevin Feige. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Now, before you take off, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, ring that bell for all the updates, and make sure you get every notification because we do daily Marvel and DC content and we don't want you to miss any news.